What children's shows are surprisingly creepy? Courage the Cowardly Dog. I'm sorry, but Flapjack and Teletubbies are something different. Over the Garden Wall. The ending is super creepy. Some episodes of Adventure Time freaked me the fuck out when I was young. Gravity Falls, especially season 2. Really great show. Not sure I'd recommend it to kids that don't want nightmares. In the Night Garden. Thomas the Tank Engine, his face gives me the fucking creeps. HR Pufnstiff edit. Since I'm the first to mention it, here's a clip. https://youtube.be/uquinaljic. The animation on JJ the Jet Plane is much more horrifying than I remember as a child. It's probably already been said, but Coraline, that shit still haunts me. I can't escape the memory of watching it. Dumbo, elephants on parade scene. Those animations are so twisted, it's so hard to believe it's for children. My dad thought Invader Zim was creepy and weird, but we had the episodes on DVD where I would watch them a lot. They didn't mind CatDog, but my mom always said it was disturbing that a cat and dog were attached. It's really only in specific episodes, but Adventure Time has some of the creepiest and most disturbing moments I've seen in children's animation. There are blatantly creepy moments such as most scenes where the Lich shows up, or the entire episodes of No One Can Hear You, or Blank-Eyed Girl. There are also very messed up situations and heavy themes throughout the show, like parental abandonment, nuclear warfare, dictatorship, a widow grieving the loss of her husband, abusive relationships, mental health issues, and even the guilt of killing someone. Adventure Time may not be the creepiest show out there, but when you watch the specific episodes and follow the character arcs, it can get real dark real fast. Adventure Time is really messed up sometimes, man. The Animals of Farthing Wood. It was basically Game of Thrones with cute forest animals. I remember an episode where a bird impaled mice on a thorn bush. When you really start thinking about it, Ed, Edd n Eddy gets pretty disturbing. https://www.youtube.com/watch?v=5p4zskx91n8 . Brave Little Toaster. JJ the Jet Plane. Just know. Wienerville and Angela Anaconda Wienerville. https://youtube.be/ackley2pay_r7e Angela Anaconda https://youtube.be/picevidrot9c. People may not remember this one, but Around the Twist, Christ knows how I watched that, as I'm in the UK and I think it was based in Australia. I was way too young for that mindfuck show. Pepe Le Pew was clearly a sexed-up rapist. The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack. Mr. Rogers was dope, but Lady Elaine was a puppet spinster, with a gin blossom, from hell. Cow and Chicken. Return the Slab. Honestly, the dark episodes of Adventure Time genuinely creep me out. Pretty sure it's been said countless times, but Teletubbies. That vacuum gave me nightmares. Thank you to everyone that answered my question. I never expected my question to receive so many answers and upvotes. Adventure Time. Oh my god, you don't know how much I've been disgusted by some scenes when I was a kid. The Willoughbys on Netflix was pretty fucked up. An animated kids movie where the parents want to kill the children, but the children end up killing the parents first, and it feels like a happy ending. Yo Gabba Gabba. But I like its slightly smiling face. The Numberjacks. Why does no one talk about how creepy the Number Taker is? The Clone Wars is not creepy, but it has a good amount of heavy deaths, torture and war crimes. Ed, Edd n Eddy. The Secret of Neve is one of the darkest and creepiest things ever produced for children. I still love watching it. It's stuff like this that I watched as a kid that made me like scary stuff as an adult. Dark Crystal. In Australia we had a show called Lift Off. It was about a few children finding a faceless doll in a trash can that ends up talking to them. Link, https://youtube.be/ides-9_mcq2 . Lazy Town was a little creepy. SpongeBob SquarePants, specifically the episode where SpongeBob turns into a snail. Not a show, but as a kid we watched Milo and Otis, and it was only when I rewatched it when I was older and looked it up that I found out they literally had lawsuits about all the kittens they killed in the process of filming. Return the Slab. Over the Garden Wall. That show gave me PTSD. The Last Unicorn. Everybody talks about that stupid bull, but for me it was the harpy. That shit haunted me for years. Peter Rabbit. My little sister watches it and they do not pull their punches. Oh, Peter, be careful. Last time your father went out, he was eaten alive. Come here, Peter Rabbit. I'll put you in my Christmas dinner and chomp you right up. The farmer has a gun, which he fires regularly. The mother always sends the children out to do the dirty work, and they usually have to outsmart the fox, the one that ate their father. If they do not complete whichever task the mother sends them out to do, they run the risk of not being able to survive. All three villain-type characters make it very clear that they would very much like to eat all the rabbits, and that they wouldn't even spare the baby rabbits. From what I used to watch as a kid, along with some mentioned already. Amanda Anaconda. And Mr. Meaty was horrible. Coraline. I know it's a movie, but that shit was creepy for a kid to watch. My kids loved the Polar Express, but I just thought everyone looked creepy. I don't know if they're still on TV, but those Teletubbies were creepy AF. Spooky. Adventure Time. Mostly it's okay, but some of the earlier episodes with the Lich Princess Bubblegum being possessed really had me freaked out. I hated the art style of the Wild Thornberrys. Pee Wee Herman is a nightmare. We had a children's information film called 10 Little Indians. 10 kids go to a farm and die one by one. Blue's Clues had an episode where they visit a world of abstract art or something. There were these vaguely humanoid busts that spoke with echoey voices. It stuck with me a long time, and sometimes I'm not sure it really happened. Don't get me started on My Little Pony. Friendship is Magic, that episode with those babies, fuck no. Absolute nightmare fuel. Barney the Dinosaur. Fuck that shit. Ren and Stimpy. Clarence. I hate that show. SpongeBob. That one episode of the Teletubbies that got banned. Not a show, but the movie, Chicken Run. The Moomins were creepy as a child. Weird dark animations from the 80s. Big Bear in the Blue House. Some uncanny valley shit. And Toy Box or whatever it was, big comfy couch. The scariest. Nanalan. Seriously, YouTube that shit, it's a fever dream. Thomas the Train. It's just strange and creepy to see a face in a train. Candle Cove always freaked me out a little bit. Not in a super obvious way, something just felt off about it. In the Night Garden is a nightmarish Lovecraftian odyssey of darksome horror. Iggle Piggle is definitely a Deep One hybrid, just look at the shape his head. The start of each episode sees him adrift at sea somewhere off Innsmouth dreaming of elder things. Upsy Daisy manifests in these dreamland as a tentacled bride of Dagon along with her Deep One children, the Tom Bliboos. Clearly, Iggle Piggle is their father. Edit. Forgot to mention Makapaka. This is Iggle Piggle's eldest Deep One child, who lives apart from his brethren as it is especially touched. Each episode is essentially the same. They cavort around this illusionary garden evidently designed to mask the non-Euclidean horrors of the dreamland. The bride of Dagon, her spawned children, coax Iggle Piggle to the carousel. While the hapless Deep One hybrid father struggles with his fading humanity, he is always last there. Defeated, Iggle Piggle joins their squamous orgies at this altar, designed to pay obeisance to elder deities, all which is portrayed as interpretive dance around the carousel as gigantic plushie, flower-decorated incarnations of Azathoth, Hastur, Nyarlathotep, Cthulhu and Dagon look on. 0 Will not watch, nor will allow my children to watch again. Not a children's show, but have y'all seen Beauty and the Beast's Enchanted Christmas? There is an organ played by Tim Curry that's creepy as hell. If you haven't seen it, all you need to see is, Don't Fall in Love. That's all you would need to see. Dutch people will probably say IK McLaurin, https://youtube.be/rxs8bpxdj5m closing parenthesis. It was Zio scary that parents complained about their children having nightmares and break out crying when watching the show. Digimon Tamers, or the third Digimon series. It was directed by the same guy who did Serial Experiments Lain and Texhnolize. There was this show here in Europe, can't remember the name, about a little Spanish orphan who lived with monks, and in the last episode he kills himself to go and see his mum in heaven. He was like 8 years old. And it was genuinely meant for kids with no indication that this would ever be the kind of ending you'd get. In the Night Garden. Terrifying. Shudders. Blippi. That fucking giggle, man. That's enough to make me shudder. There was an Australian one called Round the Twist, and one episode had people bursting into colored paint. Someone was carrying around a clear plastic bag full of yellow fluid and lamenting their friend. Not a show, but Coraline was actually pretty scary. It's a movie, but hands down The Brave Little Toaster is a completely fucked movie from start to finish. My dad made me watch a show he used to like when he was a kid called Fraggle Rock, and it genuinely terrified me. It made me think of that episode of Angel where they hypnotize kids through the TV using those creepy puppets' sad face. Ever watch Teletubbies in black and white while high? Yay, nightmare fuel. Some of the episodes of Hey Arnold legitimately still give me the creeps years later when I think of them. Teletubbies used to watch when younger. Creepy looking things in colored outfits and a face in the sun is weird to me now. Crashbox. The revolting slob still shows up in my nightmares. Plasmo. That show still gives me the creeps thinking about it. Booba. What the fuck even was that shit? Thanks for watching. See you later.